Hi, Crystal. We're doing interviews for the month of November on teen pregnancy. Can you state your age, please?
23.
Okay, and what effects on society do you think teenagers becoming parents have?
Well, it depends on who the teenager is, I guess, really. I don't think it's actually a good thing. I don't support teenagers having kids. I've been through it. It's not, the greatest thing in the world. It's not easy. It's very hard. And a lot of people I think a lot of kids now are just doing it because everybody else is.
So, do you think that the idea of younger females getting pregnant to fit in and be cool with their friends possible?
I honestly think that that's pretty much the idea. Because as more and more teenagers do it, more and more teenagers are doing it. Everybody else is doing it, I'm going to do it too, sort of deal, right? And it's not the way it should be. It's like peer pressure, basically. Oh, all my friends have kids, I feel so that I should have kids too. It's not a handbag. It's not a pair of pants. You just can't go out and get one. And then when the fad passes, you're like, oh, okay, I don't want that. I don't want it anymore. It's like it's the next big thing or whatever. It's not something you can just do for the time and then after that, okay, it's over with. It's not popular anymore.
So, do you blame the parents for them getting pregnant, like not enough education when they're young?
It's really hard to say because I know a lot of kids who have good parents. Their parents raised them properly. They've never gotten into any trouble at all. Nothing like that. They're perfect students and stuff like that. And the first time they go out and have sex, they get pregnant. And then they don't believe in abortion or whatever not, so they have to have the child. And then you have the other kids who are just stupid and then, they're getting pregnant. Their parents don't care. Their parents are not watching them. They're, oh, mom, I'm doing that. Okay, whatever. They really don't care because they gave up or whatever.
Okay, do you think that school plays an essential role in teenagers increasingly getting pregnant?
I honestly think schools should do a little bit more because this is pretty much where they're getting the idea. Is at school. Their friends are at school, have kids. Okay, I'm going to go do it too. And the parenting class you have at school doesn't teach you shit. It really doesn't. It prepares you for what happens when you have kids. And then, parenting class is only 4 months out of the year. So you're supposed to learn all that in 4 months. And then everyone's, oh, it's so easy. Yeah, you can do it for 4 months. You can carry a doll for 4 months. You're cool. You see your friends at school who have kids. And it looks easy. They make it look easy. And, they're at school, they're still doing their stuff. But at home, it's a lot harder. I really think the schools should do a lot more and teach them a lot younger besides, grade 8 or grade 7 or whatever it is. A lot younger. Because there's kids who are, 13 years old who are having kids. You're just a kid yourself. You shouldn't be doing that. So I honestly think, the parents and the schools should collectively teach them a lot more.
Okay, and what do you think about shows like 16 and Pregnant, Teen Mom, and I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant have influential wise on younger parts of society?
I think it's the stupidest shows ever. The dumbest shows ever.
How come?
Because, it's not easy. It really isn't. And for most of us, it's not easy. Some of us, they lucked out or whatever. They have their parents to help them. They have everything to help them. But why would you want to broadcast that on the whole television? And, it's like, oh, okay, so what those kind of shows are saying is, oh, go out and get pregnant, you can go on a TV show. Okay. But that's not the case. A lot of girls on the TV show, they're 15, they're 14, and, they're getting pregnant. Some of them, their parents have kicked them out. Some of them, their parents have took them in. And it's showing you, it's not that easy and stuff like that. But I don't believe in TV shows like that at all.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that you do have a child. How old is she?
5.
So you had her at what age?
I was 17.
How did that affect your life?
I got kicked out of school because I missed too much time because I was pregnant. I was in my last semester of grade 12. I was going to graduate. I would have graduated that June. Still would have been pregnant. But unexpected things happened. I got morning sickness and it was really bad. I couldn't get out of my bed. I couldn't lift my head up. I couldn't do anything. So I missed too much school. They told me I couldn't come back. I had to wait until Mackenzie was born, and then I went back to school the next year after that to finish a semester. I had 3 credits I had to get. I failed a class because my daughter was really sick and I couldn't go to school. So I failed the class, so I had to go back to school. It really, it kind of halts your life for a bit, depending on, because there's a lot of unexpected things that happen. Whether you have a child or not, unexpected things happen, but with a child, it's a lot more. There's nothing really you can do about it. You got to stay home with your child if they're sick. You know, you can't, I have to go to school, I have to go. Where are you going to leave your child? You know, you have to be there with them. So it really, what should have took like 4 months to do, it took me like 3 years to finish 4 classes of high school.
So, as a young mother, like, what positives and negatives came out of it?
I'm not going to lie, it wasn't easy. It wasn't as bad as like some of the people I know are saying that, you know, it's impossible. So it's not impossible. It's really not impossible. It's a positive. I mean, I always told people, you know, I think I'm glad I had Mackenzie when I did. She wouldn't be Mackenzie if I didn't have her when I did. She'd be a different child, obviously. But at the same time, I mean, I'm still young enough to follow her around, to chase her around and whatever not. You know, you still, I think the having her so young, you're still kind of a kid, so you can still kind of be on their level and play with them and, you know, interact with them and stuff like that and understand what they're doing and what they're, you know. But at the same time, it's really there's a lot of negatives to it, and most of the negatives is coming from the people around you. Like, they look down on you, you know, you shouldn't have done that or whatever, or you're horrible and stuff like that. It's hard. It's really hard. Like, you know, you think you have, like, as soon as you get pregnant, oh, you know, you have your plan. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna get a job. Da 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 da. It's not that easy. It's really not. It's really hard to, especially I'm a single mom, so it's even harder. I have to do everything by myself, support myself. I go to work, and, you know, my daughter's in school, so there's a lot of negatives and positives. You just got to kind of weigh it. Different people have different opinions about it.
So, do you think that young girls are having kids to try to keep their boyfriends then?
I've heard that. I've actually heard of people doing that, and it's disgusting. It really is disgusting that some people would use another life like that. It's really, it just kind of makes me sick. It really does. Because what are you going to do? You know, you get pregnant, you think your boyfriend's going to stay with you. I got pregnant and my boyfriend did not stay with me. He's gone. So, I mean, that didn't work. I never tried that. You know, wasn't my intention at all. But it's what are you going to do if you get pregnant, you know, to try to keep your boyfriend, to stay together with them, and they still are like, you know what, oh, forget it, I'm gone anyway. Then you're stuck with a child you didn't want. You're stuck with a child that you were using to get something that you wanted. You don't have that thing that you want, and now you're stuck with a child, and you're what, like 15, 14, 13 years old? What are you going to do?
So how did you feel being 17, pregnant, and, like, without the father figure being there for your child?
There was ups and there was downs. I guess being pregnant and the mood swings, being pregnant kind of played a role in the ups and downs, and the when I was sick, when I wasn't sick played a role in the ups and downs. But there's ups and downs. There was days where I was like, I don't need him, I can do it all by myself, he's useless, he's whatever. And then there was other days where I was like, damn it, I really wish he was here. And especially even after she was born, I was like, I can do this is easy, I don't need him to be here or whatever not. And then there was other times where I was like, this really sucks, she really needs somebody, you know, she would need him. It comes and goes. Now I'm just like, whatever, he's gone. She's 5, she hasn't had him this far, she's not gonna need him now.
So, being a young parent and not having the father figure there, how hard it was financial wise for you?
Oh, it's really hard. It's really, I mean, now it's not so bad, I'm working, but that's not nothing easy or not either. It's like some days I work, some days it's not like 9 to 5 job, it's shift work. I mean, really, is that really how you want to support your kids? No, you make minimum wage. Kids need a lot. They need a lot of stuff, especially when they're in school. They need a lot of stuff. They are really expensive. The cost of, like, I don't live with my parents. I live by myself, so I pay my rent and I buy my groceries and this bill and that bill and, you know, anything that she needs. It all comes from me. So it's some days it's hard, some days it's not, and you really have to have a plan. I really didn't. I had when I was pregnant, I was living with my mom, and I was like, oh, my mom will take care of everything, because, you know, I was 17, so I was like, my mom has it all figured out. I don't need I'm not saying that you should go and get pregnant when you're that young, but if you do and you are going to keep a child, as soon as you find out you're pregnant, you should really start planning for that, because it's not easy. You can't just be like, oh, well, I'll finish school and I'll go get a job. It's not that easy. You can't just go out and be like, I want a job, here you go, have it.
Do you think that young parents are very naive?
I've actually, like, I have a few friends who I believe are really great parents. Like, they're still together, like the mom and the dad, and they have kids, and some of them are actually really, really great parents. And you can't say, and the whole thing that teens shouldn't have kids, no, they shouldn't. But to say that all of them that do have kids, they're stupid or they can't raise a child or they don't have like, they don't know anything, that's just plain ignorance. And some of them are actually pretty good parents.
Do you ever feel that abortion and adoption is like a kind of way out for young parents?
I don't believe in abortion. I don't think that should be an option at all. I mean, there's arguments that can be made either way, but I would never go for abortion. And if one of my friends told me she was going to, I would try my best to talk her out of it. Really, I would. But adoption, I don't know about adoption because I think, especially being that young, if you're going to give your child up for adoption, later on, there is a possibility where you could be like, I want to know about my child. I had a child and now she's somewhere with somebody else, So I would never do it. I would never have an abortion ever, ever, ever. I don't think I would ever give my child up for adoption.
But do you think that teenagers use it as an easy way out?
Well, of course
when they get pregnant?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them, I've heard of it. Like, nobody I know personally, but I've heard of it because, girls that are sleeping around. Oh, if I get pregnant, I'll just have an abortion. Seriously? Like, it's that easy? Like, you have no self-respect at all? Yeah, I believe some of them do, yeah.
Okay, do you have any message for any of the teen parents out there? Seeing as that you went through it yourself?
I mean, if you're doing the best you can, what anybody else says, like, your kid's not harmed, there's nothing wrong with them, that's really all that matters, is that you love your kids and, you provide for them whatever you can. Your kid doesn't have to have the best of everything and, doesn't have to have the coolest of toys or whatever for you to love them and stuff like that, so.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.